Some NBA superstars stay on the mountaintop for many years, while others
Derrick Rose, as far as I'm concerned, is finished.
see their potentially legendary career come crashing down in short order. These are the NBA stars that had their careers ruined by injuries. Up first, we've got Penny Time, or should I say, a player with one of the greatest what-ifs in NBA history. Anthony Penny Hardaway burst into the NBA scene with full force. He was drafted 3rd overall in '93 by the Warriors, but quickly traded to the Orlando Magic, and man, did they hit the jackpot. Penny was making magic happen on the court right from the get-go.
Shot clock, 19 in the quarter. Hardaway knocks down the three.
But then, injury hit him hard during the '96 playoffs, and he was never quite the same. And just when you thought it couldn't get worse, another left knee injury came knocking during the '97-'98 season. Sure, he soldiered on for another 12 seasons, but it wasn't the Penny we all knew and loved. He bounced around teams like Phoenix, the Knicks, and Miami, but it was like chasing a shadow of his former self. A 4-time NBA All-Star, 2-time All-NBA First Team, and the list goes on. I mean, this was pretty much a player who could dunk from literally anywhere on the court, but constant injuries got the better of him. At least his injuries came while playing the game. Jay Williams, on the other hand, had his NBA career cut short by the most avoidable injury. So Williams had mad skills on the court, and it wasn't a surprise when the Chicago Bulls picked him 2nd overall in the 2002 draft.
Scott, too strong. Williams, an outstanding rebounding point guard, averages over 4 games. Into it!
I mean, such kinds of play, even at the college level, will not give anyone doubts about maturity. But then, Williams was involved in a motorcycle accident, and his NBA journey took a nosedive. Jay injured his leg, and although he tried to stage a comeback, luck wasn't on his side one bit. You gotta feel for the guy, you know? Coming from Duke University with all that hype and talent, only to have it cut short like that. I mean, look how he comfortably uses his small frame to barge into players and score. Would he have lived up to those crazy high expectations? I guess we'll never know. But what we definitely know is that Derrick Rose could have been one of the greatest players of this generation. Man, Rose was on fire back in the day. Like MVP at just 22? He is the youngest player to ever win it. That's crazy. He was supposed to be the savior for the Chicago Bulls, you know? Bring them back to that Jordan glory. Rose was killing it. Rookie of the Year, MVP, taking the Bulls to the Eastern Conference Finals with performances like this.
Nice look and knocked it down.
Upcast 4 of 7. Here's the penetration by Rose.
But then he suffered an ACL tear. And that was just the beginning of the end for him. His stats took a nosedive from averaging 25 points a game to struggling to keep it above 16. He tried to come back, you gotta give him that, but it was like one injury after another. He traded from team to team, trying to find his groove again, but it wasn't working as his minutes per game dropped from over 35 in his first NBA years to a measly 16 minutes currently. Man, we really missed this Derrick Rose. He makes hard decisions look easy, but those constant injuries took a toll on him mentally, as he never really rose to the occasion. The same can be said for Brad Daugherty, aka Big Dookie. Standing tall at 7 feet, the Cleveland Cavaliers snagged him as the 1st overall pick in '86. In his rookie year, he was already turning heads, earning a spot on the all-rookie team for the '86-'87 season. He had skills, especially in the paint, scoring points and getting rebounds like it was nobody's business. He didn't even give a damn if you're Michael Jordan. But the only thing that held him back was recurring back injuries. Forgive the pun. Despite his talent, he was constantly sidelined, unable to fully unleash his potential. By '94, those nagging back problems forced him to call it quits. It meant we could no longer see quick reaction moves like this.
Team in the hunt for the Pacific Division.
court. He spins on Duckworth, tries the slam. Williams smacks it away.
If he had only stayed healthy, it goes without saying that Daugherty could have been one of the most dominant centers in the game. No doubt about it. Trust me, these aren't any doubts around here because still to come, we've got a player who was dubbed the next Michael Jordan. Two players who could have changed the fate of a franchise and one of, if not the greatest NBA player to come out from Asia. So subscribe to the channel and tell us in the comments who's the best player ever that was always injured in your opinion. Now here's another superstar offensive talent who became yet another what-if story. Tracy McGrady. Who would have thought that a 7-time All-Star, 7-time All-NBA team member would be considered a what-if? We're talking about a dude who was dropping jaws with buckets with the Toronto Raptors before taking his talents to Orlando.
Because I love it. And, the MVP stuff, that's...
In those 4 magical seasons with the Magic, McGrady was straight up balling. We're talking averages of 28 points, 7 rebounds, 5.5 assists, 1.6 steals, and 0.8 blocks. Even giving the likes of Kobe a run for his money.
You and Tracy played together 5 times. You've won them all. Everybody looks at that, though. Do you get a little more juiced up when you're playing against a guy like that?
You know what? It's fun. It's a challenge. I love challenges, as I'm sure he does. And I think it's what people like to see.
He was like a scoring machine, a 2-time NBA scoring champ, and even bagged the NBA Most Improved Player award in 2001. But a fatal back injury hit him hard, and he was never the same. Sure, he bounced around from teams after that, but it was like chasing a ghost of his former self. Inconsistency in fitness made him play just a handful of games, and it ultimately cut his career short in 2013. And coming in first at number 5, we have Andrew Bynum. Drafted straight from high school in 2005, Bynum became the youngest player in the NBA. The 7-footer helped the Lakers win 2 NBA championships back in 2009 and 2010. As one of the tallest players on the team, his finishing near the basket was top-notch. In January 2008, he partially dislocated his left kneecap, requiring a surgery.
And a step back, Rudy Gay. Man, I thought it got the rip. Instead, a finger roll, and unfortunately, Andrew.
Further injuries would follow, marking 3 consecutive postseason runs affected by knee injuries. It eventually led to his career being cut short after just 9 seasons, as it couldn't be saved. Speaking of which, the Detroit Pistons needed a savior to take over the mantle left by Isaiah Thomas, so they picked Grant Hill, 3rd overall in the 1994 draft. He swooped in and immediately started dropping buckets like it's nobody's business.
Grant Hill. Oh my! Bragging rights at the moment belong to Hill.
Hill got it away from 3-quarter court.
He got it! Grant Hill banks it in from 3-quarter court.
Hill would lead the team in scoring and steals as a rookie and bagged the Rookie of the Year, sharing the spotlight with Jason Kidd. By his 2nd season, the media dubbed him the next Jordan, never minding the real MJ was back in action. But then, the ankle curse struck in 2000, and just like that, the trajectory of his career took a nosedive. It eventually led to a March 2003 surgery that was followed by life-threatening complications and forced him to miss the entire 2003-2004 season. He tried to bounce back, even making it to the All-Star team in 2005 with the Magic. But those ankle issues just wouldn't let up. 5 years in Phoenix, a stint with the Clippers in LA, but it was clear Grant Hill's game was never the same. Many argued that he could have easily made the NBA Hall of Fame if he had stayed healthy. And honestly, if you watch him play, you can't deny the fact that bro was special. And you know what else you can't deny? These last 3 moments, because these players nearly turned an entire generation. We've got one of the most heartbreaking careers ever. Brandon Roy, straight out of Seattle, was making waves in the NBA. Drafted 6th overall in 2006, Roy was from another planet.
Roy for 3, and he drops it down.
Roy now against Hill. Roy dribbling left, pulls up with an elbow jumper right through.
With plays like that, it wasn't going to take a wizard to predict a first-round selection for B. Roy. Once he hit the Trailblazers, it was game over. He was a beast on the court, winning Rookie of the Year in his first season and earning spots on all NBA teams and All-Star games. But then, those knees started acting up. It's always the knees. Brandon couldn't shake off the pain, and after just 5 seasons, he had to retire at only 27. There was nothing he could really have done. There wasn't really much Greg Oden could do either. As the #1 pick in '07, Oden was supposed to be the next big thing in the NBA. Back in the day, Oden was a sensation, and the Portland Trailblazers were also banking on him to lead them to glory. But before he could even play in the NBA, injuries started coming in. He missed his entire rookie season. He was determined, though, and fought back, playing a couple of seasons, with some spicy performances to add.
Now Oden takes it. Backs in baseline, jump hook is in, and that's where the big roar for the first bucket simply.
But those knees just couldn't hold up. After bouncing around and trying to make a comeback, he ended up with the Miami Heat for a short stint before calling it quits for good.
Back, very difficult with all those operations. Right there is what you see he can do inside. He is so big and strong.
Man, you got a feel for the Blazers, drafting 2 prospects in Roy and Oden, only to have them both suffer career-ending injuries. Speaking of which, we are approaching the end of this video, but not without our #1 player, Yao Ming. First off, Houston fans will remember the struggle all too well. From the moment Yao stepped foot in the NBA in 2002, it was clear he was something special. Standing tall at 7'6", he had the potential to dominate the game. From defense to offense, he was a beast.
Francis will get it. He's thrown back out to Yao Ming. He has not made a 3 until now. And hold it. Oh, blocked by Yao. That's some great plays to gain tonight.
Down the middle, leaves it for Yao.
But those constant injuries hit him harder than a wrecking ball. Yao had to sit out the 2009-2010 season, and despite all the efforts, injuries kept haunting him, forcing him to consider retirement way too soon. He might be the best player to ever come out of China, but man, his career deserved so much more. It's a tough pill to swallow, seeing such a player didn't really play up to 10 seasons in the NBA. But I'll tell you what isn't tough: hitting that subscribe button and turning on notifications so you won't end up like all these players. Be sure to check this video and keep balling.